From the Good Vibrations Studios at the West Coast Funny Car Factory, these are the Nitro Reports for August 2020. Brought to you by Good Vibrations Motorsports, Performance Fuel Systems, Superchargers, and Safety Equipment at dragparts.com. Aeromotive, serious fuel systems for street or competition at aeromotiveinc.com. Stith Printing and Legends of Nitro for all your screen printing, embroidery, and branding needs at stithprinting.com. Hot Probes, a racer-to-racer company with reliable EGT sensors for your nitro or alcohol engine at hotprobes.com. And RacePack Data Systems, with data loggers for your race car and digital dashboards for street or racing at racepack.com. Tonight's guest is McLeod and FTI Performance owner and Mellow Yellow Nitro Funny Car pilot, Paul Lee. Reports on Bonneville and the Boise Nightfire Nationals. And me, I'm Bruce Barker. Now, with the Nitro Reports are Donnie Couch and Darr Hawthorne.
Hey, Donnie Couch here for the August Nitro Reports. We're down here at McLeod Clutches with our good friend Paul Lee. Paul, welcome to the Nitro Reports.
Oh, good to see you, Donnie, as always, you and Darr, and welcome to McLeod.
Yeah, well, you got a great company here and great staff. I know when you're away racing, I don't think you got to worry about this place too much.
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, that's absolutely true. Back in the old days when I drove for Jim Dunn for a couple of years, back when I first bought McLeod, I mean, I really had to, do two jobs at once. When I was going racing, I was also keeping a close eye on the company, right? But now I have such a great team. 12 years later, here we are in 2020, and we have a great group of people, no drama. I can go away, enjoy myself at the racetrack, and not worry about a thing. It's awesome.
Yeah, I see that. I've been here when you've been gone, and the place just keeps on going, and these people really care about what they're doing and what kind of product they're putting outside the door. And tribute to you, you're putting together the right people.
Well, I mean, that's what any successful business or race team is about. It's about the right people. And it's not like an overnight project. I mean, it took us a long time to get the group of people we have here now. We have the best group of people working at McLeod, just like our race team. I have the best group of people with Jimmo and the guys there. So it's all about your people. And that's what any successful business or race team is about, is putting together a great group that get along well, no drama. They all love their jobs. We have very little turnover here. And that's, a testament to having, our the right people here. And I'm pretty happy about it.
Well, that's what I like to hear. Very little turnover with the people.
No, we don't have any of that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Paul, but like 4 years ago, you had a widowmaker heart attack that cut your racing out. You thought you'd never race again, and the doctor gave you the okay. You build one of the best teams out there. You hook up with Don Schumacher and Jim O, Donnie Bender. You've got a great group out there on that race car. And, then this COVID stuff hits, and you're like kind of not parked, but you're not running the schedule you thought you're going to run. How do you deal with that?
Well, I mean, one of the lucky things for us, you can have all the best equipment money can buy, and which we do. I mean, working with Don Schumacher Racing, I mean, that alone was the first big step. Jimmo put that together, and Don's been great to us, and Jimmo put together a great group of guys to have our team. But then when this hit, one of the things there's really nothing you can do about it but wait it out. But one big advantage that we have that we're lucky is Global Electronic Technology is our marketing partner. I mean, a lot of guys I've heard that, their sponsors stopped paying them, or, they want to cut them back because, now we're only racing 2 days instead of 3, and there's less races, and, there's less fans, of course. So there's a lot of issues here. But Global Electronic Technology, Steve Bryson and Samantha, they have not done one thing different than they said they were going to do. So that's a testament to them. That's enabled us to be comfortable and not worry about, where our next dollars are coming from to run the car. We're here ready to race, and that's because of them. Pat Galvin, Trevor Galvin, all the people at Global have been great to us, and can't say enough about them.
Well, that's a great company. I've certainly been involved with them, and they love their drag racing. Yeah. Unfortunately, with the COVID-19 stuff out there, You know, they haven't been able to go to the races and such, but he asks about it all the time and how you're doing, and they're watching you on TV, and they love it.
Yeah, well, we certainly do miss them out there. That's for sure. It's not the same. It truly, I'm not just saying that because they're our marketing partners, but it's just not the same without Steve out there and Samantha cheering us on and Pat and Trevor out there high-fiving us after a run. I mean, we miss that. So, but we're doing the best we can. We're racing with what we got, and at least we're out there racing, supporting NHRA, because that's what it's all about right now, is trying to all get together as a group, meaning the NHRA racers and NHRA, to try to put some kind of show on there to keep this thing going. We don't want it to go away, you know, so we're doing what we can do as all the racers together are going out there racing the races that we can do for a cut purse. But we're just trying to work together to make it work for 2021. We want to keep this NHRA drag racing, you know, healthy.
Yeah, you got to make it survive, and you're getting ready to go back to Indy for the U.S. Nationals, and that'll be the 4th time you've been at Indy. How does that feel, going back to the same track all the time?
Yeah, a lot of people ask me that. It's like going back to Indy number 4, but it is the U.S. National. Actually, I don't mind it, to be honest with you. I mean, our truck and trailer and race car and everything is like we said earlier, at Don Schumacher Racing. It's only like 3 miles away.
Yeah.
I mean, it saves me a lot of money. I mean, think about this. Why travel all over the country if the fans can't come and see us race? Yeah. If we have to race limited fans or no fans, we might as well just... And Indy's a great track. So I don't mind going there at all. I mean, to me, I love it. I don't mind. And then now we're going back for the U.S. Nationals, and it'll be a little bit different in a couple of weeks when we go to that race. I mean, the Indy, you know, the pre-Indy races were fun. I'm telling you, we had a lot of fun. And it was like, really, think back going back to your local track when you used to race. You used to go to the same track every weekend, right?
Yeah.
That's how I feel like it.
Yeah,
it's like we're racing at our local track. It's like when I grew up, I used to race in Atco Dragway every weekend, right? So it was like, did I get tired of that? No, I just loved racing. Well, this is the same thing. I think now it's like, okay, we're going to Indy every week. And isn't that bad? No. It's just like racing at my local track when I was growing up. It's the same thing.
Yeah, well, that's a good way to put it. And I don't know. I just hope we can keep this deal going and it survives. And we know they canceled Atlanta and Reading, and hopefully this stuff goes away and we can get back to racing and have the fans back there. Because even watching it on TV with no fans in the stands, it's different.
Yeah. I mean, there was limited fans, and, you know, we couldn't interact with the fans. We had to leave our signed hero cards out there, so we couldn't do pictures or anything like that. But we did, you know, there was a fair amount of fans walking around the pits, so that was kind of nice to see. And, you know, but it just wasn't the same. You know, it wasn't to see. You look up, you're sitting in the car, you're pulling up to the beams, getting ready to make a run. And, I mean, you can see the stands, and they're kind of empty, but once you get in the race car, it's like you don't even think about that.
Yeah, you're not looking anymore at the fans.
Christmas tree light, you know.
Exactly. Well, Paul, the 3 Indy races that you have run had some tough times getting the car down the track, and I know you're working on that, making adjustments with the car and stuff. But I'm hearing that your early numbers, that car's an animal out there. It's one of the quickest cars to half track, and you got your hands full driving that thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's we put a new body on it in Indy 1, and it was 25 pounds lighter than the other body. So that definitely made it was a different car. I mean, I don't know why I couldn't drive it, but things been all over the place. I mean, you know, we're doing our best to make adjustments. Donnie and the boys and Ron Tobler scaled it for us this week, found a few things, and they think that definitely affected it with the steering and some of the tightness and the, you know, they put some, you know, I don't know what they're called, but you know how the steering goes through these bearings and stuff. There was a couple, and there was one that was really tight, so it made it really tight to turn the steering wheel. So I think that might make a big difference. But yeah, I get back to your thing. The car is super fast. I mean, you know, the Indy 1, we ran a 388. And actually I shut that car off early, and I just nicked the cone with the header, right? Yeah. I couldn't bring it back, so I had to lift. So just think about that. It looked on the computer that we lifted at 900 feet and still ran 388. That
yeah, not fast. Too bad, you know.
Yeah, and that's low ET, by the way. That was low ET of all 3 races.
Wow.
Even though it didn't count, it's still a 388.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Well, when you brought that car out last year, and it ran a couple different times at different tracks, 388, 332 at every track. It was like
it's a fast car.
It's a bracket car. Just got to work some things out. Like you say, you put a new body on it, changes the whole balance of the car from the weight.
It did change the whole balance of the car.
Yeah, so they got to get used to that.
Yeah, we're like I said, we don't have that many runs, on the car, really. When you only do 2 qualifying runs in first round, so if you go out in first round and that's only 3 runs, it's not a lot of runs to get this thing going. So, hopefully for the U.S. Nationals, we'll have a race car that is not only fast. I know it's already fast. I just being able to steer it.
Yeah, to get down the track. I know when I talked to you when you got home from the last Indy race that you said you were turning the wheel and it wasn't reacting to it.
Well, I was trying to turn the wheel and it wouldn't turn. That was the problem. I mean, I literally was trying to turn the wheel and it wouldn't turn. It's different than when you're turning the wheel and it's not moving. That means the front end's light. This was a different issue. I was trying to turn it and all my strength down track and it wouldn't turn.
So a lot of downforce or weight on the front end.
That, yeah. Something's going on, or the steering linkage is locked up. Because even in the first round, or it was second round against Tommy Johnson, it was going towards the wall and I had to lift. Luckily, he smoked the tires early because I couldn't correct it, and if I would have stayed in, I would have scraped the wall. So I had to lift early. We won the round, luckily, but that told me right there that I can't turn this wheel.
Yeah. Well, how frustrating is that?
It's very.
You get to the end of the track and you get out, you got the baddest hot rod on the property, and you're having issues, and people are pointing at the car. Probably some of them were pointing at you,
Most of them are pointing at me.
But we know you got a lot of experience in these funny cars.
Some of the people are like, you have your arm restraints too tight? I mean, come on. I've been driving these things for 40 years. I know how to adjust my arm restraints.
Yeah, I see your trophies in there.
Silliest stuff.
Yeah, I see your trophies in there, even back in the days when you drove alcohol funny car, which to me, that's the hardest car to drive in drag racing.
Yeah, and I try to tell these other crew chiefs, like, they're like, well, are you turning the wheel? I go, I won't mention any names. I said, of course I'm turning the wheel. And that's true. I mean, I drove alcohol funny cars for 18 years, and they're a harder car to drive than these things. Because these things, when you steer it, they steer on a dime because of the downforce. In an alcohol funny car, you don't have that downforce. So it takes a lot more input from the driver to make a correction than it does in a nitro funny car. A lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah, well, it's been interesting to watch, and we wish you luck at the U.S. Nationals. We know you're going to have the baddest hot rod out there again. We know your guys are working hard to try to straighten everything out and find little things with the help of Ron Tobler and that whole Schumacher staff. So, we wish you well, Paul. Everybody here at your shop wants to see you do well.
Well, yeah, we have a great group of people. They're always, watching our company car, basically.
Yeah.
So, it's nice to have them have something to root for when they're watching on TV.
Yeah, it's pretty encouraging because they're all into it, and they're all come in, hey, well, Paul did this and Paul did that, and they went some rounds, and, they're all fist pumping, and everybody's happy. So
yeah, they were excited after the last race where we went to the semifinals. And it was a good weekend. I struggled a little driving the car, but we still made it to the semifinals, so I was happy about that. It was fun. It was a lot of fun, trust me.
Well, that's what it's supposed to be about, right? That's why you're doing it, and family and friends and fun, right?
That's what it's all about. Having fun, race hard, and have fun.
Well, the Mongoose would be proud of you, buddy.
Yep, Mongoose, we're always thinking of you.
Yep. All right, well, I'm Donnie Couch. He's Paul Lee.
Good Vibrations Motorsports specializes in the parts you need for gas, alcohol, and nitro engines. If you're muscling a funny car or top fueler down the quarter mile, cutting a rooster tail across the lake, or cruising the boulevard, Good Vibrations has the blower and fuel system solutions for your personal ride and race car. If you want to go fast, really fast, then Good Vibrations Motorsports is ready to hear from you at goodvibesracing.com.
Hot Probe's exhaust gas temperature sensors, used by nitro racers and professional teams like the 2018 U.S. Nationals winner Terry McMillan in his Amelie Top Fuel Dragster. Hotprobes.com. Reliability for the winning edge.
Hey, well, anyway, we're walking around McLeod Clutches. Paul, I see this FTI transmission. This is a piece of jewelry here. I know you bought the company, 2 years ago?
A year ago. It's actually been a year tomorrow.
A year tomorrow.
A year tomorrow is our 1 year anniversary with our relationship with FTI. And the guys down at FTI Performance, Greg Phaedra and Scott West and all the guys, they've been doing a great job. This is the kind of product that they sell, these nice power glides. And, business has been great, and the response has been great. And we just can't believe the loyalty. Just like McLeod, we have loyal customers. Well, FTI has that same loyalty. There's a lot of loyal FTI users out there that uses these power glides and torque converters.
Well, Paul, interesting. A lot of companies had struggled through this pandemic, and McLeod seems to be up in sales. I know FTI is doing good. What do you attribute that to?
Well, I'm pleasantly surprised. I mean, we've been busy at McLeod, and the same with FTI. I mean, the sales are through the roof, and I attribute it to we're in the hobby business, we're in the passion business, right? Yeah. So even during a pandemic, our passion is the same. You, myself, and all our customers out there. We're car people. We're in the hot rods, muscle cars, drag racing, whatever the case may be. Well, during this pandemic, we've found that a lot of people are, if they're quarantined, they're home, and what do they want to do? Well, they want to work on their cars. So they've been ordering parts to work on their cars, whether it's a muscle car project or a hot rod build or whatever. We've been selling a lot of project kits, both with FTI and McLeod, that tells me that people are home working on their projects, and they're working on their passion, which is their hobby, which is just like you and I, is cars and hot rods. That's what we love.
Plus, those stimulus checks don't hurt either, right?
No, I guess not. I mean, wherever they get their money from. I know I didn't get a stimulus check. If I did, I'd probably spend it on my race car. So I can understand that.
Well, I just want to buy this transmission here and put it on my coffee table at home. It's so beautiful. And if you're building a hot rod or race car or anything, you can get clutches, you can get your transmissions. They're all under one roof here, and great products.
FTI is in DeLand, Florida, so you would have to call FTI in Florida for.
Oh, directly call them down there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, folks, you heard it from the boss. Call FTI down in Florida or McLeod down here in Anaheim, and keep those cards and letters coming in.
Stith Printing is your leader in corporate and individual identity marketing, with over 3 decades of delivering the best quality garments for your budget and promotions. At Stith Printing, we offer in-house design, providing strong graphic solutions for any project with fabric screen printing or high-density embroidery. Stith's diverse background and attention to detail gets the job done on time and on budget, then ships the job to your door. Whether you field an international racing team, a statewide construction company, a local softball team in a church league, or the convenience store down the street, Stith Printing has the crew to deliver your next printing and branding project.
Well, Darr, you had a big trip up to Boise, Idaho, and
then on to Bonneville.
Then to Bonneville. Wow. So you've got some real footage, huh?
Yeah, I got some footage I shot. Then there's we sat out there on the salt. If you haven't been to Bonneville, it's got to be the closest thing to going to another planet. I know I've said that before, but you step on that salt, you go, wow, look at this shit, for miles this way and miles this way. And the highlight's got to be seeing Poteet running, 477 483 out the back door at 6 miles.
Piston-driven vehicle.
A big block Chevy.
The fastest piston-driven vehicle on the planet.
Twin turbos, twin 88 millimeter turbos. I mean, that's, and a crew you would die for, man. You know, you got Kenny Duttweiler there working on the computer. You got Steve Watt, working around tuning it. I mean, just about every discipline were there, and it was really cool to see this group of people coming together that you kind of go, man, I know that guy from Pro Mod Racing, or I know that guy from, I mean, to have somebody like Duttweiler building your motors and doing your turbos and stuff like that is a real gift. And hearing that car screaming, going through the gears, Ed, we were just short of 3 mile.
I went up there one year, and it was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I didn't think I'd be into it, but
It moves slow.
yeah, it moves slow. But when you hear one of those cars go down there, a nitro car run for like 5 miles, it's a sound you've never heard before.
And then blow after 5 miles of like 3 mile sustained, wide open throttle, and there was one that blew up, going through the final lights, and it was an amazing experience. And Zach came up there, and we just had a great time.
Good times, huh?
And then Boise had some of the best qualifying for funny cars and top fuel that I've seen in quite a while.
I talked to you on the phone, and you were pretty excited about the whole
Read the
event.
numbers to you.
Yeah, I was like, oh, wow, that's and they had some spectators up there, and I don't know how they got away with that, but they did, and it was a great race.
The was like elbow to elbow. So
yeah, well, that's good enough. As long as you're spraying nitro in the air, that takes care of the COVID-19.
Plenty of nitro there. It was really amazingly cool, and to see Billy Morris, #1 qualifier, Mike Peck go out there and run a career best, and then Billy pulls up right behind him and beats him by 1,000th for #1 qualifiers. Like,
yeah, Billy had #1 qualifier, and then at the end of the qualifying, he wasn't #1, and he made the last run of the evening and put it back on the pole. And I talked to Eddie Knox, and he just super ecstatic, because they'd had a lot of time off from when they ran before.
We all have,
Yeah, we all have, and he's super excited, as he should be. And I know Bucky was having troubles during qualifying and through the rounds, and we've all been sitting around. We all want to go drag race, so
that was worth it. I got in my truck and
headed right up. I wish I was there.
Yeah, well, I wish you were there too, man. That's why I was calling you and giving you the round by round, because it was like, whew.
Well, I know you're always busy up there.
Well, I did it a different way too. I went and scanned all the round sheets, got all the crew chiefs' phone numbers to text them the sheets, so I didn't have to go running around and give them. And so it's like, okay, give them to the fuel guys, give the top fuel guys. The
work smarter, not harder. Is that your new theme for the year?
I'm liking that. I'm gonna get a tattoo.
Please don't, Darr. I mean, it was one thing for you to get that Nitro Reports tattoo on your back.
And it was really hard getting it taken off.
No, that was Speed Scene Live.
Oh, yeah, that's it. But yeah, awesome time. We got some more racing coming up. I think UNFC's just canceled the race at Tucson. Still can't get any clearance for enough crowd to cover a purse. And then looks like the only thing that we will have the rest of the year is at Tulsa. And that'll be a heritage race. Still very up in the air whether we're going to have a reunion or not. I mean, I tell you, if we don't have a reunion, okay, I can deal with that. But we got to have the Good Vibrations March meet.
Oh yeah, we're not going to miss that. We'll run that race regardless.
Well, as soon as the election's over, the virus will disappear.
Let's hope so. Hey, Darr, I got some good news the other day. Our dear friend Kyle Keck, who's restricted to a wheelchair, and we did an interview with him, and he is going to be he's been interviewed by 60 Minutes. They're doing a segment on him, and they're going to use our footage that you and I did.
Oh, for Speed Scene.
From Speed Scene.
When he was sitting in the cackle car.
Yeah, they're going to use. They saw that footage and wanted to use it, so I think you gave them the okay with the paperwork. So we're good to go. It looks like in November they're going to air it sometime. I've been talking to Kyle, and he that was the best part of his life, was sitting in that cackle car.
We got to get him out to the March meet.
Yeah, hopefully there is a March meet.
Yeah, well, I was talking to Blake Bowser on the way over here, and he was saying that that he only cares. That's what he's got to have is the Good Vibrations March meet next year. There's just too close. They're running a lot of events where you got to buy a tech card that gives you 5 entries, so you can bring some buddies in with you, that kind of thing. But they've got an NRA race. They've got I think they've got a Super Chevy, something like that. But it's real tough. Track operators got to make money. They still got to pay the rent. They still got to keep their key people.
Yeah.
And the great guy who does the starting line prep. All those kind of things. You got to keep those people.
Yeah, we got to keep Cleet Norris and Mark Dawson and that whole group up there. Jim Black. Yeah, I can't forget about him.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
so it's thin for drag racing right now, but we're also having a good time going to other places, and that seems to be working too.
Well, let's hope it all gets cured by the election, and we can do more reports live from the track and have a good time like we always do, and of course bring that good coverage to you, the fans out there on the Nitro Reports. We appreciate you hanging in there with us too.
Stith Printing is your leader in corporate and individual identity marketing with over 3 decades of delivering the best quality garments for your budget and promotions. At Stith Printing, we offer in-house design, providing strong graphic solutions for any project with fabric screen printing or high-density embroidery. Stith's diverse background and attention to detail gets the job done on time and on budget, then ships the job to your door. Whether you field an international racing team, a statewide construction company, a local softball team in a church league, or the convenience store down the street, Stith Printing has the crew to deliver your next printing and branding project. Aeromotive Fuel Systems. On the street, in the water, or at the track, if you can drive it, we can fuel it.
Ready? Yeah. Hey, this is Blake Bowser coming to you from the Worsham Lanes, and you're watching the Nitro Reports.
Hi, Darr Hawthorne here. I'm here at Coupler Design, Zach Hawthorne's shop, and I thought I'd give you a little bit more information of the little bit of drag racing that we've had so far. In August, the Nightfire Nationals of Boise. Awesome race. I drove on up there. One hell of an 8-car show. Had 11 cars there. The bump spot was a 579.4 by Jerry Espeseth, which was a killer number. But low qualifier, Billy Morris and Eddie Knox car with a 569.7 for the number 1 slot. And the amazing thing, Mike Peck goes up on Saturday night, runs a career best 569.8. And right behind him is Billy Morris, and he knocks it down by a thou and picks up number 1 qualifier. So the air had moved in really nicely. It cooled down quite a bit. Big grandstand was pretty well full. People were distancing a little bit. A few were wearing face masks. And the other side of the track had a good amount of people. Friday was pretty good. But if you showed up there and you were in Boise for this year's Nightfire Nationals, you saw a hell of a race. Bobby Cottrell ended up winning it, driving Bucky Austin's car, the Bardell Northwest hitter. Bucky Austin and Mike O'Brien's car, and they met Jerry Espeseth, the number 8 qualifier, in the final. there was some weird stuff going on. Bobby was motioning to I believe Bobby couldn't get the car out of reverse, and was trying to stage it. Bucky caught it, and Dennis Austin grabbed the ass end of the car, started moving it around, and fortunately it let loose, and then Bobby was able to make a killer 569 run to Espeseth's 581.3, and then Bobby picks up 257 miles an hour, 257.28, and Nitro Reports, Donnie and I put up $500 for the top speed of the meet, whether it was top fuel, funny car, or fuel altered, and we had to give Bobby $500, which he promptly pushed into Bucky's pocket. So then we've got the race coming up at Tulsa, September 18, 19, at Tulsa Raceway Park, the Nitro Nationals. I know that Bucky's going. I talked to him this morning. I heard from Dave Schwartz that it sounds like Jerry Espeseth might be going. I'm sure Nancy Matter will be there. That's her area. Other than that, I don't know who's going. I know Don Nelson in the California Hustler is not going. I talked to Eddie Knox. He's not going. Should be a weird race down there. With this time of year, you just never know what the weather is. So if you're in the Tulsa area, go to the Tulsa Raceway Park website, and you can order your tickets online or enter your car online. They also have a pretty good bracket program there. Also, one of our buddies, Louis Bloom, the stat man from Fox Sports and from NHRA.com, has been let go by the National Hot Rod Association. And we texted this morning, and man, when one door closes, another one will probably open. It sure happened to me a couple of years ago when I was with Drag Racing Online. Still friends with Jeff Burke, but man, it sure opened up my life just by getting out away from a place where I was comfortable. From Boise, I raced on down to Salt Lake City, met my son Zach at the airport, and we went on to Bonneville. Had an awesome time just sitting there on the salt. Nice solitude, great suntans for all of us, but especially got to see the Speed Demon run with Kenny Duttweiler, that genius with turbos, and Steve Watt, and just an amazing group of people in an absolutely stunningly beautiful car. And when you saw that car leave the starting line, they would say on the radio that, okay, here comes the Speed Demon, and you could hear it coming up through the gears. And we were at about 2.5 mile area, and when that thing came by, it was just singing. It was so sweet. And so one of the runs we saw, they went 484 miles an hour out the back door. I think setting the record at 470 miles an hour. Then came back the next day and reset it, and then we're going to come back the next day with a small block Mopar, I think, and try and set that. They had some issues, and I don't believe they made too many runs with it. But anyway, go to Bonneville. If it's on your bucket list, don't wait for your bucket, man. Get off your dead ass and go to Bonneville next year. There's another event in October, I believe. I don't have the date. But if you can get to Bonneville and enjoy the time on the salt, it is truly like the purest form of our racing. I saw some drag racers up there. I'm walking out of the hotel after dinner one night, and I bump into Larry Dixon and Doug Herbert, and we just sat there and bullshitted for a while. And it's just an amazing collection of people, an amazing collection of cars that just driving down the street, old roadsters and chopped coupes and stuff like that. So I recommend Bonneville. So you interested in going hot rodding? This bitchin' car behind me, 1930 Model A 5-window coupe, was built right here in this shop with a TCI chassis, Willwood brakes, 355 small block with camel hump heads, Hilborn injectors, an air motive pump in the tank behind the seat, and you would have an awful lot of fun in this car. The fuel system's all set up by Bobby Cottrell. And we're just putting a new fuel line in, a new hard line in, and cleaning up the electrical a little bit. But it's going to go on the market. And if you're interested in running a really bitchin' hot rod that turns a lot of heads, ends up it's been in a lot of magazines. It was built for bank shift. But send me an email at info@Nitro Reports, or send me a direct message on our Facebook page. We will be right back after this commercial break.
Good Vibrations Motorsports specializes in the parts you need for gas, alcohol, and nitro engines. If you're muscling a funny car or top fueler down the quarter mile, cutting a rooster tail across the lake, or cruising the boulevard, Good Vibrations has the blower and fuel system solutions for your personal ride and race car. If you want to go fast, really fast, then Good Vibrations Motorsports is ready to hear from you at goodvibesracing.com. Stith Printing is your leader in corporate and individual identity marketing, with over 3 decades of delivering the best quality garments for your budget and promotions. At Stith Printing, we offer in-house design, providing strong graphic solutions for any project with fabric screen printing or high-density embroidery. Stith's diverse background and attention to detail gets the job done on time and on budget, then ships the job to your door. Whether you field an international racing team, a statewide construction company, a local softball team in a church league, or the convenience store down the street, Stith Printing has the crew to deliver your next printing and branding project.
I'm Matt Bynum, winner of the 62nd Annual Good Vibrations March Meet, and you're watching Nitro Reports.
Good.
Hey, Darr, great coverage at Bonneville. Thank you for making that trek over there. Of course, you went with your son, so it was like a vacation. But what else you got from Bonneville? Did you bring anything back for me?
Well, I did make a special Nitro Reports shirt that I took up there and gave out to a lot of people, but it was pretty cool. And I've got about 6 of them left in, I think I got 2 larges, 2 extra larges, and 2 double X's that say Bonneville 2020. And they're Nitro Report shirts, so you want one?
Yeah, do I want one?
Okay,
I'm surprised I don't have one now. I'd be wearing it.
I've got one saved for you, but I just don't have them in the truck. And then
we'll see, folks.
we'll
Next,
have a little bit more merch. We'll have, I've already got the Nitro Reports masks.
the COVID mask.
I gave them away at Boise. There are a lot of people wearing them, a lot of people digging it. It was pretty cool.
Well, you're carrying the flag for the Nitro Report, Darr, as you always are, and we appreciate it.
And thanks to Kevin Stith for banging those out so fast. He called me on Monday and says, "When did you need those?" I said, "I'll be in Boise this weekend." Okay, stop by. I go up 395 to Carson City, grab them, and head back on the road.
Well, Kevin Stith Printing, he's the best, and he'd do that for all his customers. So you guys call him and bombard him with orders, and let's see if he gets them out like he did for Darr.
And don't forget about Good Vibrations Motorsports.
I'm there every day, Darr. I was just there yesterday getting some fuel lines from James, and he updated me on Enderley stuff. He's been down there putting a lot of parts together. He knows how to make barrel valves and fuel pumps now and everything.
He's in a whole different part of the market.
Yeah, I'm going to hire him to be a car chief on my team over there. So he's doing a great job, and they're super busy over there, and they appreciate all your business at Good Vibrations.
Hey, Donnie, how's you got a couple of projects you're working on?
Steve Romanazzi, people know him as a Warrior funny car. In 2007, he won the March meet. Him and I won it together. We got a brand new victory car. It's a Camaro, and it's probably one of the most beautiful cars out there. Everything's done right, and everything's brand new. You know, we didn't have no used parts. He had sold everything after his last outing, and we had to buy all new parts. So I got all the first-class equipment.
He's got a nice shop up there, too.
Yeah, you were there. That's right. So, and, of course, we got Luca's sprint cars sitting off we got to put together. Also working with Steve Rajic, he made a trade for his boat for a funny car, and we're going to put that together, and we got some special okay from the Condit family to run the L.A. Hooker Mustang, that beautiful orange one.
One of my absolute favorites.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be nice. So we're still trying to find a body out there. And next week, I think we're going to take it to Jeff Moniz. He's going to put a good roll cage in that car and fix some different things, make Steve comfortable in the car. And who better to do that than Jeff Moniz? That car that they have is beautiful, and it's working good. And I couldn't be happier for that team.
I'll tell you a quick thing. We were up at Boise, and I said, "Man, your car's it's running great." And talking to Keith Clark, he says, "Yeah, man, that old Monzars, we'd throw all kinds of things at it and it wouldn't do a thing different. Now with this car, I can make a change. I can see what it did. It's like this car is just great."
Well, I looked at it when they were testing at Bakersfield. You and I were up there, and it's just such a beautiful car, and the craftsmanship is second to none. And the paint job is unreal. And that whole team's having fun. And
No, don't forget, that's a Kenny Youngblood design.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
You sure?
I'm sure. If it's not, then I'm going to cut this out of what we're saying.
Oh, okay. No, it's a Kenny Youngblood design. And who painted it? Cameron Ferre. His dad painted that Jeff Moniz and Keith Clark car, and it's absolutely beautiful. And, if you go to college to learn how to paint, your instructor is going to be Cameron.
That's right.
So he's down there at, I think, Golden West College.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're here at McLeod doing our Nitro Reports, and his wife works in here. She's foreman out there for the productions, doing a great job. So another racing family, and they're right in the middle of everything. So
Another racing, Zach and I got into Wendover into Bonneville, and we're walking to, there's a little car show over here with some just absolutely bitchin' cars. Come back out, and I look and I go, wow, that guy walks like Larry Dixon. And Dixon comes walking up, gives me a big hug, and I'm looking at this big old guy walking with him, and it was Doug Herbert.
yeah, I saw they were down
How
there.
do you run into these guys just walking outside of a casino at Bonneville?
Well, Doug Herbert's dad was part of the history of the Bonneville, and in fact, his car's at the NHRA museum out there in Pomona. So,
And we're when Larry's in LA, we're going to get with him and interview him. He's had a little progress with the National Hot Rod Association on his two-seater. Nothing's done, but at least the door has been opened that much.
well, good, because he said he'd take me for a ride in that. I don't know if I'd do that. Huh?
Put Zach.
I would. Hey, with Larry Dixon driving, and
definitely one of my heroes.
yeah, no, he's done a great job, and he's trying to do a good thing for the sport and give people the opportunity to feel it. I know they had Darrell Russell's dad in it at Martin, Michigan, and he didn't. I guess he's still grinning ear to ear, and that was months ago. So we're looking forward to that, and Nitro to go, right? Is that the name of this deal? And yeah, Larry Dixon's number one in our books, and we appreciate him being on Nitro Reports. But Darr, I don't know what else we got. We thank everybody for tuning in, and thank everybody at McLeod Racing for putting up with us, and that's it. We'll see you next month, right?